All right, so y'all, what I have here is I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of the homework problems out of 3.1 because chapter 3 y'all is a little bit more challenging. So I want to do some of these questions, okay? So I want you to look, I'm starting with question 8. I'm going to do a couple of them here. And it's asking us to graph this equation. So y'all, what I did is I just copied this here and I'm going to show you how if I was in this class, if I was a student, what would I do? Okay, so when we're going to graph this equation, y'all, we need to make a little table. Okay. And we're going to pick numbers for X and we're going to find out what the Y numbers are going to be. Now, y'all, the numbers that we pick for X, we can pick any numbers we want. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, y'all, one thing I'm going to encourage you, let's pick small numbers. So, a small number that I can think of, and it's always my favorite number to use, y'all, is the number 0. Okay. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go step number 1. We know that X is 0. What are we going to get for y? Okay. So y'all, I'm going to come back to the equation we have. Y equals 2x plus 7. And I'm going to write y equals. Now, where the x used to be, I'm going to put the number 0. Okay. And we're going to go plus 7. Okay. So 2 times 0 is still 0. And 0 plus 7, y'all, boom, that's just 7. Okay. So what we have, y'all, we have a point. Okay, there's my first point. My first point is 0 and 7. Now, y'all, I'm going to pick another number for x. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to pick x as 1. So I'm going to write that right here. Step number 2, x is equal to 1. What about y? Okay, so look, y'all, y equals 2 times 1 plus 7. Because remember what I'm doing. I'm coming back to here, and everywhere I have an x, I'm putting a 1. Okay. So 2 times 1, y'all, that's just 2. And 2 plus 7 is 9. Okay, there's my second point. So, y'all, we got 2 points 0, 7, 1, and 9. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this guy right here. And I'm going to click on my line button. And, y'all, as I start to move around, if you look up here, it'll tell you where we are. So, y'all, my first point is 0 and 7. Again, if you look up here, let's see, let's make sure. Boom, 0 and 7. Okay. The next point is 1 and 9. If you look up there in where the yellow bar is, boom, 1 and 9. I can only do 2 points, y'all. I know when in the video I did like 3, but my lab is only going to let me do 2, so I'm just going to do 2. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go check, and we're good. Okay. Now, y'all, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to do a new one here. I'm going to graph this equation. Okay. So look, same sort of setup, right? Okay, look, y'all, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pick a chart. We're going to go like this. Remember, y'all, my favorite number is 0. Okay, so we're going to say step 1, let's let x be 0. Let's figure out what y is. So y equals negative 1/4 x. Now, where that x used to be, my friends, we're going to put the number 0. Now, y'all, anytime we multiply by 0, boom, we get 0. So that's why it's one of my favorite numbers to plug in because it's usually a little bit easier. Alrighty, let's try step number 2. Okay, step number 2. I got to pick another number for x. Y'all, I want you to look at the problem we have. I'm going to write it right here. Y equals negative 1/4 times x. Whatever number I pick for x, I'm going to multiply it by negative 1, but then I'm going to have to divide it by a 4. Because I'm going to divide by 4, y'all, I'm going to pick numbers that I know I can divide by 4. Like, what do you mean? Oh, like 4 or 8 or 12. Those would be the numbers that I would pick. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to try to keep this really easy. I'm just going to pick the number 4. Okay. So, look, let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to write y equals negative 1/4. Now, since I'm going to pick the number 4, y'all, I'm going to write that 4 as 4/1. We're going to go straight across. Negative 1 times 4, negative 4. 4 times 1, positive 4. A negative 4 divided by a positive 4 is, boom, a negative 1. Okay, so look, y'all, we got 2 points. The first one is 0, 0. The second one is 4, negative 1. Okay, so let me click on this guy right here. Boom. Let me get my line. Remember, first point I'm looking for is 0, 0. There it is. Boom. Okay, the next point we have is we said 4 and negative 1. So I kind of have to be real careful, y'all. If you look here, like it's those little marks are really small. Now, y'all, I'm just going to kind of let me cancel this real quick. I think, yeah, you know what? Let me do it this way. Boom. Y'all, I have a touch screen, so I'm going to kind of do this just again because it makes it easier for me to see, right? But I'm going to come back again. We got 0, 0, boom, right there. And then we had 4 and negative 1. Let me see, 4, negative 1, boom, right there. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit. I'm going to save it. And let me see, I'm going to check my answer. And okay, we're good. Okay. So, y'all, I'm going to skip 10 because I'm going to go to 11. This is another problem I want us to do. Okay. So, look, let me take a look and see what we got here. All right. It says, can we evaluate the function? Y'all, I wanted to, this is number 11. Number 10 is very similar. Okay. So, the first thing I'm going to do here, here's my function f of x. Part A says, can we find f of 4? What that means is everywhere we have the letter x, we're going to plug in the number 4. So first thing I see is I see a negative. Where my x used to be, I'm going to put the number 4 squared plus 1. Okay, 4 squared is 16, but that makes it into a negative 16. Negative 16 plus 1, y'all, negative 15. So I got a negative 15. That doesn't look like a negative 15 no more. Let's fix that. Boom. Negative 15 for my first one. Okay. Let's do part B. Okay, part B says we're going to find f of negative 4. I still see that negative. I'm going to put it right here. Negative 4 squared plus 1. Okay, I'm bringing this negative down. Yo, negative 4 squared means negative 4 times another negative 4. That's a 16, but this keeps it negative. Okay, so check it out. Still got a negative 15. So negative 15 for both my answers. So we'll go minus 15, check it, okay. Minus, let's click on here, boom. Minus 15, check it, okay. All right, and you would do the same thing here, y'all. So look, let me try a different one. Here we go. This is another one I want us to do. Okay, it says evaluate f of x for the given function values. Okay, let's try this here, y'all. So I'm going to kind of show you what it is I'm going to do. Okay, here we go. All right, so the way I look at this piece here, y'all, this is kind of like my part A. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say f of x, x minus 5. We want to find f of negative 3, negative 3 minus 5. Negative 3 minus 5. If I owe you 3 and I borrow 5 more, boom, I owe you 8. So check it out, y'all. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to drop in the number negative 8. I'm going to check it. Okay. Now look what they're asking me to do. Can we do this again, but now with negative 2? Okay, so look right here, negative 2. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, part B, f of negative 2, negative 2 minus 5. If I owe you $2 and I borrow 5 more, my friends, I owe you 7. Okay, so right here, I'm going to go minus 7. Check it. Boom. Okay. I got another one again, but with negative 1. Okay, let's do that. Boom. Negative 1. We had a negative 7 right here. All right, part C. F of negative 1. Negative 1 minus 5. If I owe you $1 and I borrow 5 more, boom, negative 6. Okay, so we're going to go right here, minus 6, and see what we got. Okay, all right, so we got another part. Okay, with a 0. Excuse me, let's put a 0 right here. So look, y'all, part D, f of 0. 0 minus 5. I don't have any money and I owe you 5. Guess what? I still owe you $5, right? Sorry guys, I got a little allergies with this weather. Okay, let's put a 1. So come back over here. Boom. Let's put the number 1. Okay, let's do this one. F of 1. 1 minus 5. I have $1, but I owe you 5 and I pay you the dollar. I now owe you 4. Okay, so we're going to go minus 4. Boom, check that out. Okay. All right, now it says, can we draw this graph? Now, y'all, when we draw this graph, we're not going to be able to plot all of them. We're just going to pick 2. Which 2 do we want to pick? It doesn't make any difference. If we want to pick -3 and 8 and 1 and -4, we can do that. If we want to pick 0, -5 and 1 and -4, we can do that as well. We can pick any of these. We just got to pick one of those pairs. Okay. So look, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to move this over so I can see what I got. Here's my line. Okay. -3 and -8. Here's -3. Oops. Trying to get to -8. There's the first one. Okay. The next one am I going to pick? I don't know. I'm going to try 0 and -5. Boom. There it is right there. Save it. Check it. All right. And we're good. Okay. All right. I'm going to skip this one, y'all, because I think y'all know if you draw the vertical line, right? Vertical line goes up and down. If you hit it more than once, not a function, right? Okay. So look, let's try something like number 17. Okay. It says a football is thrown by a quarterback to a receiver. The points in the figure show the height of the football in feet above the ground in terms of its distance in yards. Okay, so what does that mean? This is measuring the yards. This is measuring the distance in feet above the ground. Okay, estimate the coordinates of the point D. So look, y'all, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, and I want to find the point D. So here's my point D. Remember the way we're going to do this, y'all. We're going to go to the right, 12, and then we're going to go up. Okay. So look, y'all, this right here is 10. That's 11. I'm right in the middle. So I'm going to say my point is 12 and 10.5. Okay. And y'all, when I do this, I got to make sure that I go parentheses 12, comma 10.5. Boom. Let me check that. All right. Boom. That's all it's really asking me to do there. Okay. Y'all got questions, y'all let me know. I'm happy to help.